So we've all been sold this false identity of who God is. We think he's some bearded figure in the sky who's pulling the strings and watching over everything and sort of intervening when he feels like it and letting things happen when he doesn't feel like it. And a lot of people have trouble digesting this because, well, it doesn't make any sense. Because God is supposed to be all loving and all good and all powerful. And how can those three things be true and yet God lets all this suffering happen? Well, it's because God is not some mythological creature who has a science experiment in a jar that is the universe. That idea of God is why so many people feel disconnected. The reality of what God is nothing to do with a personality. It has nothing to do with a puppeteer. These analogies are outdated and they don't connect with the modern science and rationality that our society is built upon. So let me explain it to you in a way that uses that rationality as the basis for the belief. I want you to think about the Big Bang and all the primordial soup that somehow became stars. And somehow those stars by nature created denser and denser matter. And that denser matter went on to form the planets. And on those planets eventually life formed. And from that life, consciousness. And from that consciousness, community, family, society, language, art, music. All these beautiful things that seemingly happened by chance. Well, I'll give it to you. It wasn't some guy who just said it was going to be like that. But the fact that it is happening means it is an intrinsic value of our existence, of our universe. The basis of our reality is that for whatever reason, whether it be God or whether it be coincidence, nothing became something and has continued to organize itself into further and further complexity. And from that complexity comes the great pain, suffering, and joy and pleasure of existence. So to say that, oh, there's all this suffering, so God isn't real. No. God is the force of life. The force of life that's in you, that's in me. We're not different. We might think we're different, but when it breaks down, you and I are the same. And the trees, and the squirrels, and the grass, and all of nature, and all of reality can't exist alone. You can't exist without other humans. And if you think you can, what about those that came before you? Your ancestors. All those thousands and thousands of humans that lived before just so you could be here. And you think you're separate. No, God is the realization. God is the embodiment that you are not an individual. You are a part of a larger whole. Like the leaves of a tree. Can you have a tree without leaves? Can you have a tree without seeds? Can you have a tree without branches or bark or roots? Can you have roots without soil? Can you have soil without worms? Can you have worms without the fruit of the tree? All of these things are so interconnected that there's no distinction. There's no separation. There couldn't possibly be any separation. And that is what God is. God is living in you and in me. And finding God, finding the Holy Spirit, all these analogies, finding that is living the truth that there is no such thing as you or me or us. There is just one. So, did I forget to press record? No, I'm recording. Okay. So leave a like, leave a comment. Let me know if you think I'm crazy. Let me know if you agree with me and what kind of experiences you've had. And what led you to this realization. And as always, subscribe because I'm making more content every day. All right.